Hello and welcome back. This is the Gamer 2.0. Today we're going to be continuing on with Thousand Arms. So last time we left off, I went back and I checked on some of the weapons that we had in the middle of coming back. The first one that we put in, the axe, was not ready, so I'm pretty sure that none of the other ones will be ready either. So basically, back to grinding for more MP. Hopefully this should be one of, if not the last times I have to do this. And that's just because Metalia seems to be like the last possible girl that I can be going on a date with. So once she's done, like, I don't have to worry about doing any more dates or anything, and we can just kind of continue on to the next part of the story, which I'm not sure if it's going directly to the moon to face the Emperor, or if it's to like get the means to get to the moon or what, but due to all this MP grinding, unfortunately some of my characters have quite a lot, and it's not really helping my ability to, yeah, just like that, not really helping my ability to upgrade the weapons at an efficient cost. So the more I grind for MP to do dates, the more it costs for me to upgrade the weapons, which is the more it requires me to grind for more MP. It's just kind of an annoying cycle at this point. But we do have Metalia up to level 7, so 3 more levels should do it. And that's maybe 2 or 3 more upgrades. Most likely 2 more upgrades. And that's going to be upgrades for my specifically, for any damaging spells, for any just like status spells or anything like that. That's I give those to all the girls, so hopefully it's maybe like 1 or 2 more damaging spells, and that way I can just give it to mice. Normally I would give the spell to the girl I'm taking on a date, but because Metalia isn't like a character that is in the party, I don't really need to do that. So it's only a single character level up, basically. So again, I'm not sure exactly how far into the story we actually are, because I don't know if like the moon is going to be a whole nother world to kind of explore, or if it's just going to be like the moon base of the Emperor. I'm just kind of assuming that this is going to be like endgame stuff, so I want to make sure that I get all the girls up to max intimacy now before heading off and then ending up having to like be locked out of certain spells or abilities because I didn't like level up the characters and get the abilities while I could. Exciting thing to watch, but I mean, like, at least I'm getting to do the grinding for a specific reason, and the reason does kind of pay off pretty quickly. But as these characters level up, I need more and more MP to actually do their upgrades, so I'm probably going to go up to don't remember exactly how much I need, but I'm gonna go up to probably about 4,000 MP. Go back, do the upgrades that I need to give the girls spells, and then have enough to take Metalia on a couple more dates. But with Mice getting that level up, that's going to increase the amount that it's going to cost to both upgrade his weapon, especially if he's going to get a new spell or ability, because that does seem to affect the MP cost. And I'm also wondering how long it's going to take to actually get the weapons to fully upgrade or to fully become unrusty. Just because, I mean, like, we've been grinding the weapon time as well, and it's still taking forever, so I don't know if it's, again, specifically like playtime, specific number of levels, or if it's like specific story beats that you have to hit. So like fighting a boss, doing a specific dungeon, or making story progress, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if that's what the requirements are, but it's definitely taking its sweet time getting done. Maybe after I get Metalia up to level 10 intimacy, the axe will at least be ready, and so I can run, grab that, and then head back and check on the other pieces of equipment. Because this isn't... The ones that I have out aren't the only ones that I need to upgrade. I've still got 3 other items that I need to upgrade, and that's going to take even more time. So if this is like the end of the game, then I mean, it kind of sucks because I don't get to see the other 3 weapons that get to be finished. But I mean, like, if there's more to it, my character's going to be over-leveled anyway, so having like the upgraded weapons may not be super helpful. But again, this probably would have gone much, much faster if I had been able to go back to Dianova, the place where I fought Schmidt and the Emperor and Shaft, and the Emperor went up to the moon. Because that place was actually giving me pretty decent amounts of MP per fight, so it would have been much easier to just kind of grind there. And if I was grinding there, I might actually even use the magical spell, just because the magical spell, fishing for the double MP cost, or the double MP up, just isn't honestly super worth it with like these small fights, because and the amount of time it takes me to actually get the double up, I could have already done like a second fight and just literally double the amount of gold, double the amount of XP, and double the amount of MP altogether, versus fishing for a single enemy to give double rewards. But I guess this is kind of how a lot of like older JRPGs kind of work, is that they can get kind of grindy, and they can, I guess just in general, kind of waste your time with the amount of extra stuff that it really asks of you. So like for this game specifically, just the the sheer number of spells and stuff that you get, and the fact that in order for you to get those spells, you have to spend MP. In order to level up the individual girl, you have to spend MP. So it's just like everything has like an additional cost to it. It's not just like I can spend gold to take a girl out. No, I have to spend the actual elemental power to take the girl out. Which I think if it was gold, it'd be a little bit better, just because giving you multiple resources that you can spend rather than like the same resource being required for multiple things can be a little bit difficult. I mean, even if gold like buys you items, or buys you time at the end or whatever, like with the fact that I have like 20,000 right now, I mean, like I could drop that and just kind of go and do a date with a girl. Enough, because I've got stuff that like levels or that increases the amount of MP that increases the amount of gold that I get per fight. The magical spell increases the amount of MP that I can get in a fight, and then I've got another spell that can increase the amount of EXP that I can get in a fight. So I have different ways to like get different resources, but the thing is, it's like the one resource that I want seems to be the one that drains the fastest. Because even right now, I think some of my characters require 6,000 MP just to upgrade their weapon to their current level. Now, given that is 20 levels, but that's still 6,000 MP just to do that, and kind of annoying to like have to keep coming back out here to fight some monsters, grind MP, to go back in, use that MP to level up the weapon, to then go and date a girl with it, and then lose all of it. To have to come back out here and do that all again, just to get one character up to maximum level for intimacy. Not even like maximum character level, just maximum level of intimacy, which gives me access to their spells and abilities. Alright. Great. That's 2 level up for Mice. So he's probably going to be at least like 2,000 to get like a new spell and level his weapon up to his current level. So that's half of what I've currently collected. I believe I've only got 2 girls that I need to actually level up their weapons to get the spells for Metalia right now. It's just Kylene, but that's still 2,000 MP. And 1,500 for Mice to get an upgrade. Alright, but none of the other girls need to upgrade their weapon. So I'm actually going to go ahead, spend the 1,500 now, because that way when I actually get her leveled up, and I do get another spell that deals damage. Should be enough for me to both do the date and do another upgrade, because I'm not upgrading the level, just giving it the ability. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna do dates with her because the quiz game is for like super specific information about the game. And like I really don't want to commit too much memory, like my personal brain memory, to memorizing facts about this game. Just because, again, I don't know if the game's almost over or not. Because if it is, then, I mean, probably not going to even need to be playing this for much longer.
Will you still love me, even if I passed into the spirit world?
Alright, so it doesn't matter who you are, or you become a ghost, then I have to defeat you. We're definitely going to go with A here.
Mice, don't try to fool me. Mice, why do you like women so much?
Alright, so we have because I'm relaxed around them, or because every woman is attractive in her own way. I mean, A is good because it's like, you know, being around them allows me to kind of relax and kind of not be like what you wouldn't be irritated, aggravated, upset, lonely, that kind of stuff. Whereas because every woman is an attractive in her own way, that's good because that points out that everyone has specific aspects that really kind of endears them to someone in some way. And even if the person is not the best, I mean, they still have good aspects about them, and there's still something that makes them good in some person's eyes. So, but I think I think B is a little bit too shallow, I guess. Because attractive in their own way, because that could be referring to like physical appearance. Whereas A seems a little bit more selfish, where it's about, you know, me and what I want and me being relaxed. I'm gonna go with A, just because I'm not sure which one of these would be better here. Because B is like, yeah, I'm looking at the attractiveness of other women, whereas A is like, I'm just like, it relaxes me to be around. I'm gonna go with A.
Relaxed? What do you mean by that? What would you do if I were actually a man?
So we have my love for you exceeds the boundary of gender, or I don't know. Well, just being like I don't know is not a good response. I mean, I don't like either response here, but I mean, like, I guess A is the better one just because we're talking specifically about her.
Do I mean that much to you? Do people think we're lovers?
So we have, well, what? Why do you ask? Or, I don't think it matters that much. I guess A is like more like a pure response, where it's like, oh, well, you know, well, why do you think that? I mean, I don't know. Whereas B is like, I don't think that matters that much. Well, I mean, like, in some places, like, appearance can be kind of detrimental to people, so B kind of matters in some aspects, in some places. I just don't know if that matters specifically to her. I'm gonna go with A, just because, like, having a more pure reaction, I think, is better.
Please don't take it seriously. I wanted to see how you would react. What do you think about me, mice?
Alright, so we have, you're the only person I love, or what do you think of me? Turning the question back around isn't really I don't think that's really going to score me any points here. So we're going to go with You're the Only Person I Love, just because that's basically kind of telling her what we think, even if we have other characters that we have said the exact same thing to.
Nobody has ever told me that before. Is my elemental power useful to you in your training?
So we have That's Why I'm Dating You, or I Can Forge Good Weapons Thanks to Your Help. I think B is like, it's more like including her into the process, whereas A is just like, the only reason why I'm doing this is because of like what you give me. So I'm gonna go with B.
Good. It's all right then. I am very confident in myself, but I hope that doesn't preclude your taking good care of me.
Alright, definitely gonna go with I'll do my best.
You seem too willing to please me. Is that because of my age? I wonder if you could live in poverty.
So we have being poor is pretty tough, or I think I can if you're with me. Definitely gonna go with B, because that means that with her specifically, it wouldn't be bad, and I could do it with her support. So I'm gonna go with B here.
Is that so? If you were granted one wish, what would it be?
Definitely gonna go with A. I'd wish for us to be together.
Well then, I'll stay with you. Is there an elixir that will cure lovesickness?
Alright, so we have There's No Need. It's an important part of falling in love, or I guess you can try to make one. I'm gonna go with A, because it's like lovesickness is supposed to be the thing that draws people together even when they're apart. So I'm gonna go with A, because it's kind of like the more romantic response.
I didn't know how romantic you were, Mice. Thank you for asking me out today. I enjoyed myself very much. Would you like to ask me anything before I go?
Alright, I believe we asked her about her job. We've asked her what's most important to her. So tell me about your past.
My past? Well, I'll tell you a little about when I trained with Jobble. It was a long, long time ago. Jobble and I were both apprentices under the master named Evan Gale. Master Gale was very strict, and I considered leaving his tutelage. Jobble was there, and he supported me. He was a little clumsy and stubborn. You are his last apprentice. I wonder if you will become a great blacksmith like him. Well, Mice, I will see you later.
Alright, so we did get the level up there. Up to level 8. 2 more levels, and then we're done having to grind for MP and done having to run around and try to get level ups for intimacy. Alright. I hope 8 is a dud level. Yep, looks like it is. Okay, good. So I can just focus on taking her on another date. I guess this time we can just go to the window, because we've been into the large chamber a couple of times now.
Do you consider yourself good-looking?
So we have, I think I'm average looking, or well, not many guys are as handsome as me. I personally prefer like the more humble approach, just because like it makes you appear like less egocentric. Even if you do think that you're good looking, like not like playing a lot into it can kind of score you some extra points. But like you also have the issue of like confidence as well, where it's like, well, do you want to appear more confident with yourself? Whereas B is, I think, a lot more of like a confident perception of yourself, whereas like A can seem a little less confident. I'm gonna go with A just because I personally kind of prefer a little bit more of a little bit more of like the humble side of it, rather than going for the more confidence here.
Oh, you are being modest, Mice. What kind of goals do men set for themselves?
Alright, so to have lots of girls, I don't think is a good response. I mean, like, neither of these are good responses, but to take over the world at least doesn't mention other girls.
Oh, really? Good luck, then. I would like to learn about your childhood.
So we have, well, why don't we wait until we know each other better, or I don't remember anything. So I believe I don't remember anything as the response here.
You don't remember anything?
And then, well, I do remember, but I think that was the last answer that we gave her, and she didn't like it, so I'm gonna go with, yeah, I'm sorry.
I had a feeling you would say that. I wish I could freeze this time for us.
So we have, we will always be together, or, but then I won't be able to go scamming. Yeah, definitely not B, so we're gonna go with A here.
Do you want to stay with me forever?
So we have, of course, or, let me think about it. I'm gonna go with A.
Mice, your naivete is so charming. What do you like to eat?
Very simple question. But definitely to go with everything tastes great when you're around.
Are you saying that just to curry favor with me, Mice?
So we go, yeah, or nope. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that, we're just saying that because we're trying to butter her up, basically.
Well, never mind then. Life.
I'm gonna go with B here, just because she definitely seems to be someone that when things kind of like arise, she still kind of perseveres and moves forward. Whereas Is a Lot of Fun, so Take It Easy is more about, you know, living in the now. Well, as a lot of fun, I guess, is not about living in the now, whereas So We Should Live Our Lives to the Fullest is more about like living in the now. Then A would probably be more something like you don't have to like worry too much, and you can kind of take things as they come, I guess. I'm gonna go with B though.
Oh, that's the way you think. I see. When you tell me you love me, do you mean it from the bottom of your heart?
So we have yeah, sure, or yes, look deep into my eyes. I'm gonna go with A because yeah, sure is not a good response here.
You're not looking me in the eye, Mice. Thank you so much for taking me out. I had such a good time with you. I hope we can do this again soon.
Alright, did get the level up there as well. Up to 9. One more level and we're done. Finally. I may have to do one last, gathering of MP, just depending on what spell this offers. No spell. Alright, so... Oh... So she gets a special attack. Do I want to go and grind 7,000 MP to give Soshi, a character I'm probably not even going to use, a special attack? No. No, I'm not gonna go and grind for Soshi to get a special attack. The only way that I would ever use Soshi is if we have like a fight where we have to separate the party into two different teams. And even then, I'd probably actually use Musa over Soshi. As like the main character, because the main character is the only one that can actually use special attacks. You can't use special attacks in the backline. But luckily, should be the last level up that we need.
My ears are burning. I have a feeling someone is talking about me.
Alright, so we have, you know everybody likes you, or that can't be right. We're gonna go with A here.
Mice, do you really mean that? I almost forgot what it's like to feel this way.
So we have, I'm fun to be with, aren't I? Or is it a, this is boring, I want to go home type of feeling? I'm gonna go with A. Just because that this is boring, I want to go home. Definitely a negative response, especially like when you're taking someone out. So I'm gonna go with A.
Yes, I really enjoy being with you. Mice, what holds a special place in your heart?
So we have my friends in the sword or girls. I owe what I am today to girls. I'm gonna go with A here because I believe it shows a little bit more about like your commitment to others and the people close to you, whereas B is just like, yeah, just girls, you know, just girls in general.
I see. It is very important to prize your friends and to keep up on your training as a spirit blacksmith. Can you eat broccoli?
Alright, so we have not really or they're my favorite. I guess they're my favorite.
I will take you to dinner sometime. If you could take only one thing to a deserted island, what would it be?
I'd ask you to come with me, because a set of 100 beautiful ladies, definitely not the right response on a date.
Huh? Unearthing the secrets of someone you've just met is so exciting.
Alright, so we have, well, we were meant to meet, or there's lots of amazing things in this world. Let me go with A.
Do you really believe in it? I would like to learn about your childhood.
tell you later, okay? Or my childhood? I was small back then. Yeah, I'm gonna go with B here, because this actually kind of gives her something, because she's been asking about it constantly. So, I'm gonna go with B here.
That's stating the obvious, Mice.
Well, I mean, it was better than the other response, I guess.
What would you do if I were actually a man?
I know that she likes answer A, so we're gonna go with that.
Do I mean that much to you? Mice, what do you like best about me?
So we have, I love your beautiful hair, or I love your body. I think B is probably going to be too shallow. I mean, they're both honestly shallow. I guess, like, not pointing attention that we're looking at her body is the better response. I'm going to go with A.
Thank you so much. I'm an accomplished cook.
Alright, so will you cook something for me, or no way, you're just kidding, right? I'm gonna go with A, because it allows her to kind of show off her skills, as well as doing something specifically for the person that she's on a date with.
I will take you to dinner sometime. Thank you for asking me out today. I enjoyed myself very much. Would you like to ask me anything before I go?
Alright, well, will you give me advice on girls? Well, we've asked, like, all the 3 other questions, and I don't really want to ask her about advice on girls. I don't know what 5 is going to be referring to. I guess I'll go ahead and try 5. See what she says.
Yes, Mice. What is on your mind?
Okay, so I guess that's just the...
Well,
okay, so-
Mice, I will see you later.
Alright, but intimacy level's at 10. All the characters, both in the party and in the individual towns, should now be completed. And let's check what we get for level 10 with Metalia. Because now... that should be the last set that we can get with her. Stop. And Soul Cure for Sodina. Oh, that's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a lot of MP. That's what, 4,300, 4,421. Because I can get Mice's sword. So that gives him stop. And then Kylene's sword. Because that gives her stop. And then I've got to get another 4,000 MP. But luckily, this should be the last time I need to grind in order to get these spells and the special spell, or the special attack for Sodina. And after this, we can finally continue on with the story. Hopefully no level ups for anyone other than Mice and Kylene. Yeah, another level up for Sodina is probably not going to be what I want here. Because right now for her, for just her alone is 2,000. That's half of what I need. That's because she gets both the weapon level up plus the stop spell plus the special attack. Everyone else is only like 1,000. That's because they're only getting the level up in the spell. So I only ever see the tank turtle by himself. I don't know if the tank turtle can actually come with any other monsters or creatures. So I'm not really sure how the stop spell is going to work. Milsha leveling up is not the worst thing that could happen. It's not great, because that's probably going to increase her cost of leveling her weapon a little bit more. But I mean, again, that's not like super terrible or anything. Probably grind up to about 5,000 altogether, just because that should cover the cost of any level ups, as well as getting the actual spells and abilities onto the weapons. Because I don't think that I really need to give anyone a specific element to their weapon. So I should only need to upgrade once, even though everyone's going to be on the wind element for their weapons. And then after this, after getting these level ups, we can go back, we can check on the weapons one more time. Hopefully they should be done. Which, if they are, I can just run around, replace the weapons with the current rusted ones I have in my inventory, and then that's it, they're done. And all I have to do is wait for the second set to finish off. So while the second set is finishing off, if I go and do the final boss fight then before they're done, then that's fine. Because I think I've pretty much already got the characters to a level where I don't really have to worry too much about doing standard fights. The only time I ever really seem to have trouble is when I specifically go against an enemy that can cause status effects to like the whole party or the front line. And just because like whenever the front line seems to get put to sleep or paralyzed or anything like that, the enemy just kind of goes into like a turbo drive where they attack far more frequently than they would if the front line was up. And it's just like the battle with Shaft, where it was just like he would paralyze the first character, and then he would get like 3 attacks off before the backline could even move. Which made it like really difficult to like kind of recover from that situation. Even though he didn't have like a bunch of like full party attacks, it was a lot more of targeting like the main frontline character. But because he was able to just do so much constant damage so quickly, it really made it very difficult to like recover from the position of like, okay, my main character is paralyzed. He's getting off 3 attacks before my backline can even cure that status effect. And then there's also a chance that the status effect would get reapplied like immediately after you like heal it off. Now, when you get status effect when you're like in defense mode, that's fine, because like defense mode carries over even if you're paralyzed, sleeping, or whatever. So like that's fine. But the fact that if you're like in the middle of an attack animation or an attack command, you're basically just taking full damage for multiple attacks before you're able to recover. Alright, Kylie leveling up, not bad. Because she's already got her stop spell. Not really sure how stop works in this game. I don't know if it works like old Final Fantasy games where it's just like they hit you with stop and that's basically it. Your character's kind of dead. Because like they don't move, they don't take any actions, they can't really do anything. So if you just get hit with a stop, like you're basically done. Whereas in this game, I don't know if it's like, well, enemies can only be stopped for a certain amount of time. Just like a lot of other status effects, which if that's the case, I mean, I don't really know why they would have so many different, So yeah, the 2500 I have right now is probably just going to be for her upgrade. So I don't know what the point of having multiple status effects other than like the obvious of like poison, where poison deals damage over time. What would be the purpose of having things like sleep paralysis and stop if all they do is just the same stuff? So like, if sleep made it so that the next attack that you take isn't automatic double damage, but it wakes you up with like the very next attack, that would be one thing, because like that would like serve a purpose, because that would be like, well, the enemy did an attack, it puts you to sleep, and then they do another attack and it deals double the damage, so then you're taking like 3 attacks in 2 turns, which has a purpose. Like that's, you know, there's a reason why you would want to apply that status effect, is to, especially with an attacking ability, because then, hey, guess what? You're able to do more damage. The enemy can't take any actions until you make the attack. So you can use that time to, you know, recover or like buff your characters or anything like that. So there's like a reason to do that. With like paralysis, it's like kind of like Pokemon, where like sometimes you can't move, sometimes you can. That would be understandable, but it's like, no, paralysis just like D&D, where it's like, no, you're kind of screwed. And you're basically at the enemy's mercy, because if they choose to beat the crap out of you while you're paralyzed, you just kind of have to take it. And it's really easy to hit you at that point. And then you have stop, which is like, stop and paralyze should pretty much just be the same thing, because like, unless like they do it something where it's like you're immune to damage, but you can't take any actions until the stop effect wears off. Because like you can't take any damage because like you're suspended in a temporal field. So like anything that's happening in the field automatically stops. So you can make the sword swing, but the sword swing never actually hits the enemy, because it stops before it can actually hit them, because their temporal field doesn't allow them to basically like receive any type of receive any type of damage. But if you still do damage to him, again, like Final Fantasy, that's kind of basically just like another form of paralysis at that point. It's just, it requires different things to heal, rather than just being like, okay, well, here's an antidote that cures paralysis. Because now you need an antidote that specifically cures stop. Which then kind of like lends into the whole petrify thing, because petrify is basically like just your character's dead and it's a more difficult death to really solve. Because if like your character's just knocked out, then your character's knocked out. That's whatever. You just grab a Phoenix down for Final Fantasy, a Reviver, or a Revive for other fantasy games, and I mean like, that's all you do. But with like Petrify, it's like, well, yeah, Revive doesn't work here. Phoenix Down doesn't work here. You specifically need to go and get a Maiden's Kiss or a Gold Needle or whatever it is that is required to cure Petrify. Because like that has, again, but that serves a purpose. Like there's a reason why Petrify is different than just knocking a character out. Because if you have like a instant death move, which I hate those in games. Like, it's just like, random chance you die. I mean, like, that doesn't really feel good for the player to be like, yeah, random chance, and like my character's just dead. Same thing with like Petrify. Like, random chance, your character is mega dead because you can't just revive them like you want. But like with Petrify, if it's done like over time, so like a slow petrification or anything like that, typically I think that's better, because that basically says you have a time limit to do this fight. And if you do the fight before the time limit exceeds, your character's fine and you're no longer petrified. Or you're no longer like in danger of becoming petrified. Same thing with like slow death or things like that from like certain other games, where it's like, you have a timer, and if you can finish the fight before the timer goes off, you're good. If you can't, then that character dies. Like, again, that makes sense, because it's like, okay, well, this is like a challenge for me to make sure that my character doesn't actually fall in combat. Now, it would be different if, like, crap, that's another level up for Nelsha. If you have things like, preventative spells that you can cast to prevent yourself from becoming petrified, paralyzed, or anything like that. Because then that would serve, that would serve a purpose for the each individual status effects. Because if your character is immune to stop, for example, well, they're immune to stop, but they're not immune to paralysis. Then there's a reason why like you have the different effects that do basically the same thing. But if like, for example, if you have a status effect of mute, right? So mute doesn't let you cast spells. And then you have like an effect like deafness, where deafness just makes it so that you can't cast spells, but it's different than mute, but it has the same effects and causes the same problems. Well, then what's the point of having two different things if it's just, well, now I'm introducing an additional item or an additional spell to specifically cure deafness versus mutism. So like with Dungeons & Dragons, it's another good example, because you can take a look at the spell like blindness and deafness. So blindness and deafness, you can make a character blind or you can make a character deaf. If you make the character deaf, it doesn't basically say you cannot cast spells. It's like, well, now you have a chance to actually fumble your spell, because you're trying to cast a spell that requires you to say something, but you can't hear your own voice. You're not sure if you're saying it correctly. And if you say the spell incorrectly, well, then you lose the spell, and you fail to cast it. Which, that kind of makes sense. Whereas, like, if you have a character that is silenced, well, now they just can't speak in general. So any spells that require any type of like verbal speaking to cast a spell, well, now that doesn't work because it's silence. Like you actually can't speak. So like there's 100% failure chance versus I can't remember if deafness was like 50% or what, but it definitely like both plays like different aspects and different roles and kind of what you're looking to do. Because with silence, it's typically like an area or a zone. So you say this area, there's no sound. And it's like okay, if they move out of that area, they can cast spells again. But with deafness, it's basically saying this one particular creature has a harder time casting spells. And then at that point, it's like, okay, so one is like a specifically like focused target. The other one is like in a zone that you can make sure you can try to corral enemies that cast spells into that zone in order to make it effectively where they're useless in the fight. Or if the enemy has only a single spellcaster, you're like, okay, deafness on that guy, because if that guy can't cast spells or he has a more difficult time casting spells, it doesn't matter how much you move around, because that effect is going to be basically sticking to him for as long as possible. And that's going to basically disrupt his ability to like engage in the fight as much as possible. And so both of those have like very specific things, whereas the character can still cast spells, but it requires different stuff to actually get it to work for them. And I think that like having those multiple status effects really does like drive the point home of like, okay, these statuses do have a difference, they have different roles to play, and there's different ways to actually get them to utilize their effects to the best that the player possibly can. Alright, so I did get the last of the MP that I should need. We'll check, because every single one of the girls that I still need to get the stop spell for did get a level up. Alright, so let's see here. 5,300, is this enough to get everyone the last upgrade here? No, it's not. Just a little bit more though, and that should be it. So this is Sodina. She's got Soul Cure. Alright, well we can get one other girl. Uza's at 8,000 to get a single weapon level up. Alright. Yeah, so I need another 1,000 either way. Which 1,000 is much more doable than 5,000. Alright. One more trip outside. One more trip back inside. One more smithy. Visit. And we're done with the dates. I'm not sure how many episodes this has been, where this just being basically date, MP grind, date, MP grind, date, MP grind. Alright, nice. We got a group of 3 enemies here. So, give us a nice chunk of MP. I do know that if I wanted to simply just kind of like stop myself from getting level ups as we kind of go through this just to use the magical spell. But again, the magical spell, yes, it doesn't give me more EXP, and it only gives me more it only gives me more MP. It does play a role, but the thing is that at the speed at which I can actually get, because magical is adding a random effect. It's not, specifically just double the MP. If it was just double the MP, then yeah, I would use the magical spell on every single enemy every single time, because then there would be a point. It would be worth it, because just doubling the MP, like, guaranteed. Yeah, waste 20 MP, double MP, done. But it's like, no, waste 80 MP, and then finally get the double MP. But that's 4 turns of me having to just cast magical and get weak damage spells, debuffs for the enemy, that kind of stuff, and it's just like that takes way too long, versus I could have already had like 3 fights done in the same time, where I spent 4 turns getting the double buff for MP, and then turn around and actually doing the rest of the fight. Not even to say if there was like multiple enemies, because if there's multiple enemies, then it's like, well, now I've got to cast magical on the first guy. First guy's dead. Okay, now I've got to cast magical on the second guy. Okay, now the second guy's dead. Now I've got to cast magical on the third guy. Okay, now the third guy's dead. And that's enough MP for like 6 guys. Whereas I can just go and do 3 fights, trying to like get the same thing kind of going. And guess what? I get the same amount of MP doing that either way. Because if I just go through and I just press the attack button, well, that's let's see here. So for three enemies, it's 3 presses of the attack button. And then so it's basically just attack button, wait for the timer, use the attack. Next enemy comes up, attack button, wait for the timer, use the attack. And then third guy again comes up, press the attack button, wait for the attack, and then the fight's over and I get the MP. Whereas magical is like, all right, cast magical, wait for the timer, magical, not the one I want. Okay, use magical, wait for the timer. The timer goes up. Okay, it's not the one I want. Use magical again. Wait for the timer. Okay, like it actually gave me the one that I wanted, double MP. Okay, so then use the attack action. So now it's 4 rounds of combat that I'm sitting there just to get double MP on one single enemy. When in 3 turns of combat, I could have already finished that entire fight and been looking for the next one. Alright, so Hylian got a level up, and that's fine, because Hylian's not the one I'm actually trying to give the stop spell to. Alright. Metalia and I believe it was Weena that we just need to get the... Yep, Weena's hammer. There we go. Alright, and we're done. Done with intimacy level ups, done with dates, done with MP grinding. I can finally rest and we can head on and do the next part of the story. Alright.
Get up, mice!
Covering all my EP and MP, or my EP and HP. Gonna go ahead, save the game. Because I now no longer have to worry about grinding up any more MP. And that's it. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you so choose. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next episode, where we're actually going to continue with the story finally after, what, 10 episodes of me date grinding, intimacy level grinding, all that stuff. Alright, well, see you guys in the next episode.